I have asked you on Instagram and on YouTube about your questions, so we're going to waste no more time and start right away with question number 1. And we're going to start with the Instagram questions. Do you share watches with your husband? Well, yeah, I do. We do share watches together. It's mostly me borrowing his watches, to be honest. But luckily, we do have sort of the same wrist size. So he's got like a 170mm wrist, which you can see in a lot of my videos. And I myself have a 150mm wrist circumference. So it kind of works if the bracelet has some form of quick adjustment, for example, or if it's a leather strap. But yeah, it's mainly me borrowing his instead of him borrowing mine, to be honest. Next up from Madison, OP36 alternative. So I guess you're referring to the Oyster Perpetual 36 from Rolex. And I would say a good alternative would be the Tudor Black Bay 36. You've got a dome bezel. It's obviously also 36mm in diameter. And it looks pretty similar except for the Tudor hands. And I mean, if you don't mind a date, perhaps a domed bezel Datejust would be an alternative as well. You can get it in the 36mm size and it looks really similar except for the date, obviously. But you can also get it on an Oyster bracelet, so that would work out. Again, if you don't mind a date. Perhaps you might look into a Seiko. I have filmed a review on the XS79. Oh gosh, I'm not good with reference numbers, but I'll put it up here on the screen. It's a great Seiko. It very much has this Oyster Perpetual feel to it in that, I mean, it's super timeless. It feels like it works with everything, and I would definitely go check out that one if you haven't already. Next one from No Boring Watches, which is, by the way, a very cool Instagram account you should definitely check out. Would you feel apprehensive about wearing a cheap watch that has exploded in value? Let's say in a world where you bought a, I don't know, let's say like a 30 € swatch, okay? I would say it's arguably affordable or cheap. And then for some reason it would just skyrocket and be worth, I don't know, 10,000. Let's be totally crazy with the numbers here. I think I would be more apprehensive to wearing that one from then on, simply because what something is worth sometimes can be very subjective, which I know sounds very paradoxical. I don't know, I would feel like I would damage so much value. So yeah, wearing a watch that has increased enormously in price or in value, I would feel super bad, like trashing that one from then on. So yeah, I would feel apprehensive, I guess. Does that make me a bad watch person? I don't know. What do you guys think? The Nathan Tang wants to know, what is an area of your knowledge of watches that you are trying to improve? Well, to be honest, there's so much I want to improve on in general when it comes to watches. But I think specifically what I feel like I have to improve on, and something that you guys have been telling me as well, is trying to look more into the details and technical aspects of movements. And it is something that I am, to be honest, not overly interested in the whole like big picture of watches. I'm very much a visual person and I love everything design-wise when it comes to watches and the aesthetics of it and the story and the heritage and all that goes into it. I can explain how a mechanical watch works, but I would be having a hard time dissecting different types of coaxial calibers from Omega, for example. So yeah, that's something I definitely want to improve on. And next up, what's my favorite Speedy? Well, out of the 1000 Speedmasters, no, I'm just kidding. I think my favorite is, I know my favorite is I've got two actually. The Apollo 8 that I had in my review months ago. Love that one. It's so detailed and I don't know, the color scheme is so amazing. You've got like all black and then you've got these yellow color spots in it. But my second favorite would be the 38.5mm Speedy with the blue dial. I think it's such an overlooked Speedmaster. I don't get why not more people wear it. I think the size works so much better because it is a smaller case and the blue looks incredible. I think it looks really great. You also get a date. And it's just an overall very good looking Speedy. And I once had it on my wrist. I will insert a picture. I think it just suits me very well as well. So yeah, that would be my two favorites. The Apollo 8 and the blue dial 38.5mm Speedmaster. Doing Time Scotland wants to know, what's my biggest watch related regret? I did talk about this one on Clubhouse once, which was out of the 2 times I was on Clubhouse. But my grandpa gave me an old watch of his. It's a Racchetta in a rose gold case, very beautiful. And it was, oh gosh, I feel so stupid. It was obviously a bit scratched up, and it has a acrylic crystal on top. So, you know, it looked vintage, it looked used because he wore this watch. And for some reason, out of a whim, I decided to polish the watch. And I got myself a gold polishing cloth, and I read the reviews and it was really good. And I started to polish because I wanted to give it a, how do you call it? I wanted to like freshen it up, I guess. And so I polished it and then realized that I absolutely hated how it looks polished. Like, I don't want to rub away my grandpa's marks on this watch. And I don't know what I was thinking at that time on that day. I'm so angry with myself for doing that because I think now it kind of, yeah, I completely erased a part of its history, and I can slap myself for this. To anyone out there, I would urge you to think about it, like really think about it before polishing any sort of vintage watch. It does take away, I know, I kind of hate saying this, it kind of takes away character. It sounds so cheesy, but I guess that's just the truth. And so I just stopped right there, and now I've got a sort of polished watch and I'm not going to touch it anymore. So that's definitely my biggest regret in my watch history, and I still feel super bad and very stupid for doing this. You clickbaited me on, I think you meant to say behalf of Watchfinder, and I can't stop laughing. My God, that was so great. By the way, like, my husband, he baited me first. He was like, Jenny, like, Watchfinder revealed his face. I was like, oh my God, really? And I like immediately got onto my computer and like typed in Watchfinder, and then I saw the clip, and I didn't even see that it was just like, I don't know, like 10 seconds, and it didn't click that it was April Fool's. You have to see for yourself. I love it. I think it's brilliant. I've seen some people saying how, oh my God, why do you do this to your viewers? But I mean, have a sense of humor, guys. I think it was brilliant. So yeah, big Watchfinder face reveal. Check it out. Right, the next one is a bit, I'm a bit scared to answer that one. What is my most controversial opinion on anything watch related? Because I don't think I have many like hot takes when it comes to watches, but I think my most controversial opinion would be that I do not mind people who are in this for the, what's the name? What's the word I'm looking for? Investment. It just doesn't bother me. I don't know. I don't feel it affects me personally. I don't think it affects anyone. If people want to be in this for the investment of watches, I guess you've got these people who just collect save queens, so they buy watches and just immediately put them into their safes, and then that's that. Which, I mean, okay, you do you. But then you also got these people who are fascinated about the investment aspect of watches and see it as a form of investment and as a part of their portfolio. And I mean, you know what? Who am I to judge anyone for what they love about watches, to be honest? I mean, I don't have to agree with it, but I'm not bothered by it. I mean, you could say the same thing about me and be like, hey, because you know so little about movements and calibers, you are not a real watch person, whatever that means. So I don't like to judge people in that regard. I think it's silly, and it annoys me more than that people are trying to discredit someone else for what they find interesting about watches. Bianca wants to know, how did I acquire my candy pink? Well, I didn't acquire it. I got it as a present, which I'm very happy and grateful for, don't get me wrong. And there's also a video that you can watch here on YouTube. I did a review of the candy pink that I'm wearing right now, and at the end of this video, I will link it for you in the description box below. You can watch me on my birthday. It was my 29th birthday, and my husband Kai got it for me as a present, which is an incredible present, and I freaked out. I had a headache for the rest of the day, if I'm being honest with you, because I was just so overwhelmed. I couldn't believe it, to be honest, and yeah, my head was exploding. But it was a happy headache, if that's a thing. So yeah, go check it out in the description box below if you want to. Next up from Salzini. What's my favorite version or take on a Moonphase complication below 10K? The below 10K is a good point. Because I had to think about like A. Lange & Söhne und Patek und the Rolex Cellini. But below 10K, I want to say Well, Longines has very beautiful moon phases, which I really like. If you want to go for a classic look with a playful take, I also like from IWC, there is a Portofino in 37mm. I think it is labeled as a ladies watch. It has diamond indices, but the moon phase is in the upper like half of the watch, but in like the middle part still. And it's a circle, duh. But you've got stars printed on the dial, and then you've got the blue like moon disc behind it, and it looks really nice. I will put a picture up. What else? I mean, if you are more into a realistic take on moon phase, which is something you don't see that often, I also enjoy the Speedmasters from Omega with the moon phases. They are quite large, I want to say. I think they are definitely above 43mm in diameter, so they're huge watches. But they've got very beautiful moon phases, and it's like a photorealistic picture of the moon, which is also very nice. You don't really get to see it that way that often. Yeah, I think those would be my favorite takes on moon phases, which is one of my most beloved complications of all time. So what are my thoughts on G-Shock? Well, be on the lookout. I have planned a G-Shock review. I am just waiting for the watches to come in. Perhaps at the time this video is out, I already have the watches with me that I plan on reviewing, because I think it is about time that I bring the digital heroes. And yeah, you'll see. Mia wants to know, and that one has a lot of upvotes, if you could only purchase watches from one brand, what brand would you choose? And I think we know what it's going to be. It's Rolex. So yeah, I mean, no surprise here. You guys probably, like the ones that have been watching me for some time, you know the answer. What would be your one brand to only buy watches from? Let me know what you think. And that is the end of my Q&A for today. Thank you so much for submitting all of your questions on YouTube and Instagram. It was incredible to see all of your questions. I'm sorry I cannot answer all of them, but I think we would be sitting here for days if I would. But yeah, again, thank you so much. And honestly, in general, guys, I don't think I say it often enough, but thank you so much for being here and just watching my videos. It's still incredible to me how this all happened and that we all ended up here together, but I'm super grateful and happy. So again, thank you for being here and watching my videos. If you have enjoyed this, you can give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of me in my videos, you can subscribe to this channel. And that was it for today. Thank you so much for watching again, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.